As long as Nintendo's been around, so have the rumors and lies that spread through school hallways, in magazine columns, and eventually made their way to internet forums. Unreleased games, hidden characters, and extra hardware are just a few of the Nintendo lies that fans have endured through the years. See how many you've fallen for. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new content. Legend of Zelda live-action TV series. Magic, sword fights, epic battles, a heroic quest to save a princess and various worlds. The Legend of Zelda has all of the elements for an epic live-action television show, but the stories and characters have been limited to only an animated form. Fans were excited in recent years when it was announced that Nintendo and Netflix were in negotiations to bring The Legend of Zelda to life for a series on their streaming platform. The Legend of Zelda could have joined the ranks of Stranger Things, Daredevil, House of Cards, and other original series that have helped the company thrive. Just as people were subscribing to the streaming service in anticipation, the gauntlet was dropped. The series would not be developed, and Nintendo was focusing more on their mobile application division as a main priority. So the next time you're hopping around in Super Mario Run, just think of all the Legend of Zelda episodes you could have been watching. A live-action version of the series could have been an epic mix of The Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones with family-friendly action. It would have been awesome to see the effects and actions in the game turned into real adventures on the screen. Super Mario 3's missing level. Remember when video games were actually released in cases instead of just featured as digital downloads or download cards? That was the only way to get NES cartridges back in the day, and many gamers felt proud about displaying their collection on a shelf. It's too bad that the Super Mario 3 game box had a huge lie on the back that would frustrate players for years. The back of the Super Mario 3 box showcased screenshots from the game. The second screenshot features Mario hopping through a hilly area as flying turtle shells act as obstacles. No matter how many times you play Super Mario Bros. 3, explore maps, or try to find secrets, that level will never be discovered. It doesn't actually exist in the game. Of course, in a world before video streaming and online forums, young kids were duped by this and spent hours trying to discover this level. The only time those flying shells appear in the game is during one of the cloud levels. The most likely scenario is that the screenshot was taken during the development of the game so that the marketing department could start creating all of the cases. Either way, it looked like a fun level that gamers would love to try. Super Smash Bros. Melee and the secret characters. The Smash Bros. Franchise has always featured a great collection of characters to battle against. Along with many mainstays like Mario, Bowser, and Fox McCloud, each new roster features a number of guest characters from various Nintendo franchises and third-party games. When Super Smash Bros. Melee was released, it featured characters from the Kirby franchise, The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid Prime. While the character list was pretty large, gamers couldn't help but notice that there were 2 empty spaces where profiles could be inserted. This is where the lies began. Rumors started spreading about who the 2 characters were and how to unlock them. Some of the biggest included Toad from the Super Mario franchise. Completing crazy hard quests within the game would be the only way to unlock him. Snake from the Metal Gear Solid series was also included in these rumors. Electronic Gaming Monthly helped spark even more with their April Fool's lie that stated Sonic and Tails would be included in the game. While both Toad and Tails still haven't been a playable character in the series, the other 2 were later added to future games. When each new game is released for the franchise, more rumors persist about the hidden characters that can be unlocked. Nintendo 64 DD. The Nintendo 64 was a game-changer for Nintendo and home consoles in general. No longer was Mario just limited to his side-scrolling adventures. Now he could travel in a 3D world. The revolution that was created with the Nintendo 64 was just the beginning. The console also had huge plans to release an expansion known as Nintendo 64 DD. The base would be placed underneath the original console and take large discs that could store data, keep track of action, and give games a whole new way to play. Even though the Nintendo 64 DD was promoted since the launch of the original console, US players never got their hands on it. Pictures were shown, rumors swirled, but the base console was the only thing that was released. In 1999, the 64 DD was finally released in Japan, but it bombed and did not have a lot of games released for it. Nintendo decided to focus on the US release of the GameCube instead of trying to expand on the N64. It would have been fun to see how some classic games expanded and what other games could have been released on the console. Much like Sega's 32X, add-on peripherals are not always the best idea. Luigi can be unlocked in Super Mario 64. When Mario transitioned from the Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64, he left a few friends behind, and mainly his brother Luigi. Luigi was notably absent from the launch title Super Mario 64, but fans still had faith that Mario's brother would somehow make an appearance in the game. While exploring the open world, players were able to discover a statue that stated L is real 2401. This quickly led to several rumors and lies that Luigi could be unlocked by collecting every star in the game. Other methods included secret areas, specific ways to jump, or by using special code machines like a Game Shark. None of it was true. Luigi wasn't a part of the game's code, and Mario was the only playable character. Of course, Nintendo decided to correct this big mistake with the release of Super Mario 64 DS. Not only did Luigi get to join his brother Mario, but Wario and Yoshi also came along for the adventure. At least Luigi got a little revenge by starring in his own launch game for the Nintendo GameCube entitled Luigi's Mansion. Mario isn't a playable character in the game, and Luigi becomes the only option for players. Super Smash Bros. DLC lies. The Wii U didn't bring a lot of excitement for Nintendo fans. While there were a lot of great concepts, the console received a lot of bad press and sales were diminished because of it. One highlight among all the negative content was the release of Super Smash Bros. The next-generation game features great multiplayer action, classic gameplay mechanics, and some of the best battles in Nintendo history. Unfortunately, the game experience of Super Smash Bros. Was tainted by lies that Nintendo started. A number of these lies stem from the promised DLC content that was supposed to come with the game. Additional characters like Rayman, Young Link, and Shovel Knight were all supposed to be in the game. This never happened. Players who purchased both the Wii U and 3DS versions of the game were supposed to unlock special characters as well. This never came to fruition, and players expected to unlock fighters like Dixie Kong and Ridley. The game itself was amazing, but it could have added even more depth with some extra characters. The hard drive space and ability to download content should have made these characters available for playing. Maybe the Nintendo Switch version of this series will include all of these missing characters without having to pay DLC fees. Magic meter in Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Along with shooting arrows, riding horses, swinging a sword, and playing a special flute, Link also relies on magic to get through dungeons and defeat enemies in the Legend of Zelda franchise. While the original game did not feature a magic meter, almost every sequel that followed it did. This meter showcased how much magic Link had to cast spells or do special tricks. Magic jars and special types of potions could help fill these meters and provide another way to battle in the game. As the Nintendo Wii was getting to launch, one of the biggest games announced for the system was The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. In early screenshots and released artwork, everything featured the magic meter in the top left corner. When the game was released in 2006, players began their adventure with no magic meter. That meter wouldn't appear at a later point in the game either. For some reason, it was removed altogether, creating confusion among fans as they tried to find multiple ways to unlock it. It was eventually revealed that the game has no magic meter in it at all. The only meter that players would have to worry about was their patience meter, as frustration grew early on while playing. Mew under the truck. When the Pokemon franchise first launched in the United States, they brilliantly coined the catchphrase, "Gotta catch 'em all." For players using Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow, catching them all included the ultra-rare character Mew. Word quickly spread about how rare Mew was, and people loved to give their own theory on how to find the elusive Pokemon. One of the biggest theories that took off was a huge lie involving the HM's strength and a pickup truck. In the Game Boy title, players would venture down to the docks area. Near the cruise ship SSN would be a pickup truck just parked on the road. The lie that has spread for years states that players can have a Pokemon use strength, push the truck, and then find Mew hiding underneath it. It's too bad that the truck is a permanent object in the game. It cannot be moved or manipulated in any way. The whole thing turned out to be a huge hoax. No matter how many times this theory was debunked, it continued to spread around and is still the focus of several YouTube videos to this day. Super Mario 128. If you thought that Super Mario 64 was good, then can you imagine how great it would have been to play Super Mario 128? Nintendo spent years developing new hardware that would eventually become known as the Nintendo GameCube. Naturally, Mario was the ultimate test subject for these designs. After months of hard work, the result was a demo game known as Super Mario 128. In an issue of Nintendo Power, the game was teased as a Super Mario 64 sequel. A lot of speculation and rumors finally led to a public presentation at an event known as the Space World 2000 exhibit. The first glimpse of Super Mario 128 showcased the plumber duplicating himself dozens and dozens of times on the screen. Each new Mario would display different actions and movements as he populated the world. The demo was impressive, but that was the last we would see of Super Mario 128. The GameCube launched with Luigi's Mansion, the Mario clone game was nowhere to be found, and Mario didn't return until Super Mario Sunshine was released. The game was basically a big tease with no end result that would please fans. For years, Nintendo continued to talk about the game, but nothing was ever released. Mario's Chocolate Factory level. As a child in the 1980s and 1990s, video game secrets were mostly spread through the hallways of schools and through various video game books and magazines. This made it easy to spread lies and fake stories about mega popular games like the original Super Mario Bros. Fans of the series loved to spread stories about secret levels, jumping over flagpoles, and quick shortcuts to defeat the game. One of the biggest lies stemmed from a secret level and urban legend known as the Chocolate Factory level. Many kids would claim that they reached this level and defeated it even though no such level existed. The origins of this lie came from author Jeff Rovin. Rovin published a popular series known as How to Win at Nintendo. The unofficial books were huge hits and helped children get through all types of games for the console. In one of the releases, Rovin mentions the secret Chocolate Factory level in Super Mario Bros. This caused a frenzy in fans as they tried to find the level over and over again. While there are many ways to load fake levels and enter places like Minus World, none of these levels involve a chocolate factory. Hey, thanks for watching! What lie do you think was the biggest? Is there anything we missed? What ones did you fall for as a child? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to The Gamer on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos.